check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let me stop. Good morning, guys. Wow, morning. Why am I lying? I've never recorded an episode in the morning in my life. The whole 4 episodes that I'm about to upload have been taken in the dead of night. Hence why you can't see any light coming through my blinds at all if you're watching this on the video version. But anyways, hi guys. Long time no see. Welcome back to the Black Sheep podcast. I am your host, Keziah, but I haven't been a very good host, have I? Wow. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't even remember what the word it is that I said. My brain is so, I feel like every episode I'm coming with vim. I'm coming with a problem. I'm coming with some sort of complaint. But alas, I have to be real, don't I? Not everything is peaches and roses and... What did they even say? What's that we were saying? Sorry. Ooh. What's that white people saying? Everything's rosy. Easy as pie. 2 peas in a pot. That's not even relevant. That's not actually even relevant. Anyway, guys, good evening. I just got back from a run. Hence my little hoodie, my little sports bra moment. Nothing too crazy. But, today is the 1st of October as I'm recording this. I've been away. I understand that. I just haven't had the time to record. Sit down and actually record. I've been so busy. College has just hit me like a truck. Well, that's not actually true. It's been moving at the exact same pace. It's just I've decided to take it seriously now. Because the first few weeks I was just la la la, new school. Now I'm oh, exams are in December. I gotta lock in, because usually in undergrad my exams are in January. But anyways, as I was saying, it's the 1st of October. And you know what that means. If you are on TikTok at all, you'll know that today is the beginning of the winter arc. Guys, I actually can't. I'm so chronically online. It is ridiculous. Well, basically, the winter arc is because the start of October means that there's 90 days left of the year, and it's time to lock the frick in, and all your New Year's resolutions that you had and you gave up on, it's time to reload them. We're gonna hit the gym at 5 a.m. then we're gonna go to college and work. We're gonna break up with our significant other and we're gonna lock in. Yeah. And basically you have to wear a big hoodie and go for a run in the dark. Ironically, I went on a run in the evening. This is not intentional. I am not partaking in the winter arc because all the things that they talk about doing, I've been doing them. Y'all are just 10 months late. I'm not trying to tussle. I'm not trying to fight nobody, but come on, get with the program. It's October. You've had how many months? I've been doing this shit. Anyways, let me not get too passionate, okay? But basically, went on a run, and I just think it's funny because everyone else seems to be going on runs, but I feel like some people do be lying about their goals for the winter arc. Okay, I get no sugar, or cutting out processed foods, trying to journal more and be a better version of yourself. But then you get the Andrew Tate warriors who are no parties, no girls, no bitches, no November. And it's just it's turning it into something it doesn't need to be. And what's actually frying me is how this has now become another capitalist scheme. Why are people saying, see, I said this on my Instagram, because it's frying my brain. Why are people saying, oh, click the link in my bio and get a winter arc hoodie if you want to follow the aesthetic of a big baggy hoodie while you go to the gym? And then we have little kids in the comments shit, my mom's not gonna let me buy that. You're 10. What the hell are you locking in for? You don't have the bone density to be doing all this stuff. If you go to the gym, you're not gonna be lifting weights. The weights are gonna be lifting you. Take your time. Wake up at 7 and go to school and play with Mega Blocks and go home. I don't know what they play nowadays. What do you kids do? I don't know. The skibbity something. Guys, you know what kills me? Did you see on what's that show? Dancing with the Stars or Strictly Come Dancing? I don't know, whichever one is more popular. I think it's Strictly, that's the UK one, and then Dancing with the Stars is the knockoff Mr. Price version. that's in Ireland. No offense, but it's so ass. Anyways, besides the point. Tell me why one of the judges, what's his name, Craig? I don't know his full name, but he's known for being like a very like he's a strict marker, and like he's just camp. Like he does what he needs to do. But you know what he didn't need to do? You know what his production team didn't need to do? You know who wrote his script for that evening, that episode a few days ago? You know what they didn't need to do? Make him say skibbity riz. guys, so the presenter was about to bring on, like, you know, Tasha Guri from Love Island a few years ago, who she was a dancer before she went on Love Island, and she has the cochlear implant, like she's hard of hearing, like partially, I think. Yeah, so she was about to come on, and then they were like, oh, and then there's one word used to describe Tasha and her dance partner. And then he goes, skibbity riz. Skibbity riz, darling. Skibbity riz. I thought they were messing. Guys, I actually didn't think it was real, but I checked it up, and it actually was. And then people in the comments were saying that they had to explain to their parents, what the hell is skibbity riz? And honestly, even me as a Gen Z, what the hell is that? Like, I've even asked my brother. My brother is Gen Z too. He's 18. But he refuses to tell me what it is. Or like, maybe he also doesn't fully know. I don't know, guys. It's flipping confusing. But yeah, that's something that really tickled me recently. I don't really have any proper things to say. Like, no, that's a lie. I have something that I thought about earlier this week, and I'll get to it, but I don't know, this episode I'm just going to be blabbing about whatever first comes to my head. Okay, so one of the other things about the winter arc is like going ghost, right? And like blocking everybody, which is weird. I don't know why you have to specifically do it for winter arc, but go off if that's your prerogative. But I just find it so funny that like all the requirements for the winter arc, I feel like yeah, that was my weekly English glitch of the episode. Let's hope we get no more of those, because I'm really tired of myself. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I remember now. So basically, I feel like I've kind of done some of the things that people are doing for the winter arc. So like, I have been going on runs and stuff, but then again, I've been going on runs since like the start of the year. So not too much on that. But in terms of like just waking up one day and just deciding to go block, I've been doing that. Am I exposing myself? Maybe. Will people then start going to look at their Instagram who listen to this and seeing if I've unfollowed them? Maybe. If you come back here and you find out that I haven't followed you, sorry. I mean, realistically, I was very logical about clearing out my social media, because it's just like, I'm not even thinking about evil eye in that sense, because like, what am I doing that someone will be evil eyeing me? Like, unless you're bleeding miserable, there's not really much that I say on the internet that would make you want to be like, preying on her downfall. You don't know anything about me other than the fact that I yap about politics and stuff on my story, and I have a podcast. I think that's all my social media presence shows, if I'm being completely honest. But it was just a thing of like, out with the old, you know what I mean? I've reached a quota. I think I spoke about this in my last episode, where I feel like I've hit a quota for friends. I've made enough. I had enough of making new friends. I've had enough of small talk. I've had enough of entertaining conversations that are not enriching. I've had enough of speaking to people that I have no intention of pursuing a deeper relationship with. And so why are these people still able to prey my life? And respectfully, why do I still have access to theirs? Why am I in your close friends? I've spoken to you one time. You know, that's another thing. Why am I in some people's private stories? Like, I'm honored, but sometimes I actually, like, if it's Snapchat, because I know on Snapchat you can remove yourself. I remove myself from people's private stories because I'm like, listen, I'm a good person with good intentions, not a single malicious bone in my body, but why the hell am I here? Why am I finding out that your sister's cousin is pregnant by this, and this? Why do I need to know this information? Goodbye. But I'm just saying, basically, to, you know, summarize that point, I'm kind of just, some people just don't fit in my life, and I don't fit in people's lives. Like, I don't see the relevance of them being followers and me following them. I just didn't see the relevance. So realistically, everyone that I deleted, it's just people that I don't speak to, had no intention of speaking to, have not seen or heard of in years. Pretty much that. No malintent, no malicious intentions whatsoever, just over it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in my luteal phase. Because sometimes I make some very rash decisions at certain times of the month, and that would be a logical explanation for why I was feeling this way this last few days. But like, yeah, I just felt very numb. It was actually really scary, you know, because I've heard some girls who, okay, if people don't know what the hell I mean by luteal phase, women or people who menstruate have like 2-3 kind of main parts of their cycle. So follicular phase is just the start of your period. Then you have ovulation, everyone knows what that is, and then after ovulation you have your luteal phase, which leads up to your period. That luteal phase, loads of people just be going through it. Skin breaks out, mood swings. Some people's are as severe as getting PMDD, which is premenstrual depressive disorder, I think, where they're just like, they actually get like suicidal self-harm ideations, and that's really scary that our hormones can do that to us. We don't deserve that. I think that's quite rude. The only cycle that most men have is the circadian rhythm, so their moods and things like that fluctuate over a 24-hour period, but ours is over like 28 to as high as like 30 something days, and it's horrible. But I guess that's a little bit of education for those of you who don't know, because listen, if you don't know, Google is free, but at the same time we are supposed to learn this stuff in school, and some of our teachers did not know what was going on. So I learned a lot of this stuff literally on TikTok within the last year, and I have a biomedical science degree and I still didn't fully know or fully understand. But either way, yeah, I just felt very like, you know, when I was saying it in the last episode that I was feeling very erratic, it makes sense. My actions in the days following that and the days leading up to this podcast make a lot of sense. But yeah, my following has gone down by literally 50%, and I just felt a sense of clarity and a sense of almost relief that like everyone here has a purpose in my life. Everyone viewing this and the people whose content I'm viewing, it just makes sense for the period of life that I'm in. Now let me think what else I was gonna say. What have I been up to? Okay, I think that's a good place to start before I start waffling, because what I want to talk about today is something kind of interesting, and it's going to be a really like quick episode. I don't really have much else to say. I'm only just here to like show face and let you know that I'm still alive, I'm still here. But what have I been up to? Like I said, masters has been beating my ass. I finally got the courage to spend money recently, and I bought some clothes for the winter. Listen, I'm not going to yap about what clothes I got because I know no one cares, and you'll see it when you see it, you know? But I feel like I have such a scarcity mindset when it comes to money, and I don't know why that is. Even if we did struggle financially as a family, and from what my parents tell me, we did growing up, but I was blessed enough to not have that burden to carry throughout my childhood. So I actually don't know where the scarcity mindset comes from, but I do not like spending my money. Maybe it's greed. I don't know. I don't like seeing numbers go down, especially because right now I'm not working. Like, I'm just taking time to settle into my new life as a master's student. But I don't like seeing the numbers go down, and like the thought of buying things that I actually need actually makes me want to choke, throw up, cry, scream, rolling on the floor, jump off a roof. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. But I did. But you know what? Even still, I'm kind of fake for that because the boxes are all there and I'm returning 60% of what I got. I'm excited to see the money go back up in my account. We up. Why did I say it like that? Let's start again. We up. No, see, when it's rehearsed, it's almost worse. 1, 2, 3. We up. I need some friends for real. Like, actually no, I just said I had enough. So like, if any of my actual friends wants to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome to, because this it's enough. It's actually enough. Because what is going on? It's very scary. Anyways, let me open up my phone. No more diary for me. I'm so gassed, guys. I'm so gassed to not have my diary anymore, but I'm not going to go on about that again. Oh my god, you know who I've been listening to recently? Brittany Broski's Brittany Broski's podcast. What's it called? The Broski Report. Guys, I've had it in my saved podcast for a hot minute, and I listened to one episode maybe 6 months ago, and I wasn't feeling it, so I left it alone. And then as I was listening to another podcast, shout out to the Receipts podcast, mwah, chef's kiss, but the autoplay played one of Brittany's podcasts, and I was like, I don't really want to listen to this, but the first 5 seconds were just too funny. I was like, oh, this is captivating. And I think she's so inspiring as well for solo podcasters, because she's so entertaining. It's very hard to be entertaining on your own, and I talk about this frequently, but she does it so perfectly. But then again, she's been a comedian, she can command a room very easily, so I'm not even surprised. But yeah, also guys, I got 50-day streak on Duolingo. I'm actually fluent in French now. The fact that I used to be fluent in French, but after the pandemic I just didn't speak it, because I'm from Cameroon. If you guys don't know, I'm Cameroonian, but my family are Anglophone, so we are from one of 2 out of 10 provinces in Cameroon that do not speak French. We were what if I just ripped my lips off? What will you do? That's what I thought. But anyways, yeah, we're from the English speaking side, and so my parents know French from having to learn it in school, but we don't speak it at home because no one in my family speaks French. We all speak pidgin, or our tribal language, but I do not speak French like that. I had to learn it in school. My throat is just wait, what's happening? Guys, no, because I was just sick. I was literally sick for 2 weeks, and I thought I was out of the woods. But you hear that rasp, don't get me wrong, isn't it kind of sexy? It kind of sounds kind of this is my natural voice. I sound like this all the time. No, I sound like a chain smoker, but anyways, never touch a cigarette in my life though. That shit's never coming anywhere close to my mouth. Not judging though, but I'm just saying. But yeah, anyways, what was I even saying? 50%, is late. It's late at night, guys. It's a very late night. My head is headaching. Oh gosh. Anyways, I've had to learn French myself pretty much from scratch. I learned it in school, all through secondary school, hence why I was fluent, because I was speaking it all the time. And I'm actually a very good language learner. I think my brain's wired to pick up languages quite well. But like any normal human being, if you're not being surrounded by the language, you're not going to speak it. If you're not speaking it, your brain's going to forget. You're going to forget. If you're not speaking French for 2.5 years straight, yeah, good luck. It's not until I went to France earlier this year and I just realised now I need to get on my Zoom for real, because look at all these people speaking to me and I understand 1 2 1 2, but when I want to respond I'm no. So we locked in, and even in church on Sunday, the guest pastor who was speaking in French, and I was like, oui oui, amen, thank you. I was understanding 80% of it. I was too gassed. Anyways, yeah, I think that's all the yapping I have to do now. What was I even going to say in my notes? Now I don't even know if I want to speak about it, because it's just it's a bit hench. But basically, I was thinking about this in church actually, because my mind seems to wander every time I'm in that place. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. Oh my God, I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to be here. But no, I don't mean it like that. I just mean there's always something popping up in my head, some sort of question, some sort of philosophical something. But I was thinking about friendships, right? Off the back of unfollowing a lot of people, off the back of reflecting on my past instances with bad friends, or just friends that were not compatible with my life. And I'm just thinking the one friendship breakup that I had, that I've referenced once before, the main problem was a lack of communication, right? Someone had a problem. To this day, I don't really understand what the problem was, but basically they went around telling everyone except me, but I was expected to understand that they didn't tell me, and expected to understand their reasoning and their point of view entirely. And because I didn't understand that, their fragility kind of just made them lash out, pretty much. This isn't with giving minor details. Obviously, friendships and human dynamics are very nuanced situations, so my side of the story is never ever going to be 110% accurate to what actually happened. Even someone who's looking completely from the outside in, and compared to another person looking from the outside in, their renditions are going to be completely different. So let's just start there. I'm not actually reciting what happened, but off the back of thinking about how a lot of people place a lot of responsibility on their friends, significant others, parents, siblings to fully understand them and understand why they are wired the way they are, and expecting them to read their minds and treat them accordingly. I was thinking about why we do so, and I think it comes from almost kind of like deflecting. You get mad, or as humans, we may get mad at people for not knowing how to treat us and not knowing how to handle us, but I feel like it's a deflection because we don't know how to handle ourselves and we don't know ourselves. And I feel like I speak about this already in previous episodes about learning yourself, knowing yourself, so that you don't fall victim to peer pressure, or you don't fall victim to unwarranted advice or adverse opinions and things like that. And the same goes, I feel like, for friendship dynamics and just human relationships as a whole. Like, they always say you have to teach others how to love you, teach others how to treat you. But before you even get to teaching others how to treat you, you kind of need to teach yourself and understand yourself, you know? Let me even show you what I journaled. I literally just picked up my phone and was like, inside the church. So I'll just read it out because it's not in bullet points for me to dissect it in its whole. So I might just go through in blocks and see where I get to. Okay, so it says, my mental state and the reasons for why I am the way I am are not for you to understand. It's for me to understand. If the inner world reflects the outer, then I can't be asking external beings to press and prod me and ask what's wrong with me and ask what they can do for me. Because then the outer pressure will cause me to implode if I don't have firm foundations within. If you do not know yourself, don't you dare expect other people to know you or even attempt to get to know you without completely breaking you apart because they strike the wrong nerve. You didn't even know where the right nerve was. Wait, that's kind of a word. Wait, let's continue. If you don't know what triggers you, what you need to do to elevate oneself, to heal oneself, nobody else can do that for you. Learn yourself. Your thoughts bounce around your head for a reason. Capture them. Examine them, both the good and the bad. And when a conclusion is drawn and an agreement has been met between yourself, your light, and your darkness, let them go. That way they can be seen correctly by others. I've had too many instances where I'm being forced to mind read, or others will try and help me, but I am not learned enough to tell them what to do, and that crumbles many relationships. If you do not know you, no one else will. Period. Wait! I haven't read this back yet because I wrote it literally on Sunday, and today is what, Tuesday? Why was I spitting? Let's dissect it. Let's dissect what I'm speaking about here. I feel like there's not even much to dissect. I think the words speak for themselves. There is this notion that people around us are supposed to have studied our anatomy. Let's put it in a surgical medical metaphor that may be easier to understand. Your psyche is the patient on the surgical table. You are put to sleep with anesthesia. You have no say. You are not speaking. You are silent. You are sitting on that table and you're open, vulnerable. Something's clearly wrong, and the surgeons have to come and fix you. They need to pick and prod and open and cut and stitch whatever they need to do to fix you up and get your psyche back to normal and treat you the way you're supposed to be treated, so that when you wake up from your sleep and you're able to finally actually open your mouth and communicate and articulate yourself, you can tell them that they've done a good job and you can feel affirmed and happy and validated. However, imagine those surgeons are first-year medical students who started last week. Are you going to trust them on that table? I mean, how would you know? You're not able to speak. You're frozen. You're paralyzed on that table. And the anesthesia hasn't put you completely to sleep. Your eyes are open. You're looking around. You can see things happening, but you're not speaking. So the student's going to pick up a big jumbo chainsaw and they're just going to start sawing away at things that they're not supposed to saw at, and they're cutting through every single nerve that triggers you about your inner child, your past, your trauma, your friendship breakups, the heartbreak that you had 5 years ago. They accidentally said something that triggers you about that, but you don't speak up. You're just taking notes. You're taking notes and you're keeping score of all the things they've done to do you dirty. But they're not aware of that. They're just trying the best that they can with the information that they have been given as a first year medical student. But then when you realize that your body's been botched and you're paralyzed and basically everything that could have possibly gone wrong has gone wrong, but you also didn't say anything, are you going to wake up and then start signing a cease and desist to sue these students? Mind you, I said cease and desist. I've never studied law. Never studied that. No idea what that is. Is cease and desist the right word? My lawyer friends, let me know, please. But yeah, it's just like, are you going to get up and go and start suing them? How would that make sense? How would that stand in court? You didn't give them any previous information, no medical history. You were awake the whole time during the surgery. You had the opportunity to speak despite being on anesthesia, and you watched it all happen. And then you decide, after they've already screwed you over, to then sue. Will that go through? Is that going to run? I'm not sure. Because in the real world, if you take away the surgical metaphor and you apply that to real life circumstances of friendship breakups and miscommunication in the home and with your spouse and with your parents even, you'll start to realize that a lot of us are just treating you the best way that we can with the information that we have. And I'm not saying to extend empathy to literal narcissists and abusers. Like, come on. If they're not treating you right, you get up and leave. But if it's someone who you know has your best interests at heart, and they've made a mistake, a grave mistake, because yes, they are human, but yes, oh my God, even the nicest friend can do you dirty. I've had friends, some of my best friends have done some things that I've not liked, but staying quiet and just keeping a tally on them and just like marking off all the things that they've done wrong doesn't make you any better of a person than they are. Instead, you kind of just look like a dickhead. You look like a piece of shit who doesn't even rate your friend, because like, how can you not rate them enough to tell them how to treat you? You know what I mean? And then you're going to turn around and then say, oh, well, I was going through this and this and this and this, and you weren't even there for me. How was I supposed to know that? You did not speak. You did not speak. How am I supposed to know that? Come on now. Let's be for real. This stuff actually makes me delirious, because it's just like, you think that at our big age, we'd even understand a notion of that. I'm not saying we should have it perfected, because it is very hard to speak up and be confrontational in that sense. But I think we need to remove the stigma behind confrontation, because even sometimes my friends will be like, yo, like, you're better than me, I would not bring that up. And I'm just like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst someone can say is no. The worst they can tell you is screw you, get out of my face, in response to you giving them a legitimate concern or providing legitimate concern in regards to how they treated you. And if their response is, okay, screw you, I don't like you, blah 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 blah, then cool, you're getting rid of the weeds. I'm not going to do another farm reference. Don't worry. That's it. I just said you're getting rid of the weeds, the invasive crops. And then that's all I'm going to say. I refuse to speak about plants anymore. Look at my beautiful plant over there. Probably crying at all these stupid metaphors. But seriously, guys, like, what I said was true. Let's even continue dissecting it if there's anything else to dissect, really. So the first sentence, my mental state and the reasons for the way I am are not for you to understand. It's for me to understand. Don't read that or interpret that in a selfish way, like, oh, you don't need to know anything about me. No, because like that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to say, because I understand why someone would think it in that way. And that's also that's the foundation of that toxic mindset of not telling people what's wrong or telling people how to treat you. But what I mean is, like, before that even leaves your mouth and enters the ears of someone else, you need to have understood it within yourself so that you're able to articulate it correctly. You know what I mean? Like, when I say articulate it correctly, I don't mean using big smart words like, oh, this trauma and this gaslight and this, because I feel like we over-therapize life anyway, and I can get into that some other time. But I just mean, like, if you understand why things happen to you, like, okay, you know what? Let's use a real example, okay? In my friendships and stuff like that, or even at home with my family, like, most people naturally, if they're annoyed with you, like if you've done something wrong or if you've had an argument or something, first port of call is usually the silent treatment, right? So people just blank you. You could be asking them a question and they'll either give you a one-word answer or just like a, yeah, yeah. See that shit right there? That is my worst nightmare, guys. I feel so much discomfort with awkward silences. No, not even like, yeah, awkward silences, obviously everyone feels awkward, hence the name awkward silence. But I mean like when I know that there's tension in the air and it's silent and it's quiet and it's eerie, it just makes me feel like the worst person ever, and I'll literally just go to my room and cry. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, what it is. And I've told this to my closest friend. I've told this to my boyfriend too. I don't like that. If I've done something, please just tell me. Please tell me, because I can't stand the silence. And if we've had an argument or something, and if I come back to try and reconciliate, don't silence me, don't ice me out. Because like, I know it sounds selfish, because maybe I am the one in the wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm coming back to try and reconciliate. There's no need to still be all silent on me anymore. I've come to reconciliate, and I'm not even trying to be biased. Nothing that I do or any of the wrongdoings that I've done that have hurt people has not been anything worth being silent for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's not worth it. But like, it's happened before, and it's very traumatic. I don't like it. It makes me very uncomfortable, and I've understood why it makes me uncomfortable, because I'm someone who thrives in communication. I thrive in affirmation. I've understood that the reason why I don't like the silence, especially within an attempt of reconciliation, is because I like to be acknowledged in conversation. Because I do that with people a lot. Even like when I speak, I'm always doing up ad libs. I'm like, I get you, because I like when people do that to me, so I kind of do it to them. But yeah, like, people know that that's the reason why I don't like the silent treatment and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that you have to come and say, you were so brave for apologizing. No, I'm not needing that. All I need is for you to meet me halfway. At least be open to listening to what I have to say, in terms of holding myself accountable, in terms of trying to reconcile. That stuff is really important to me. Or another example is when me and my boyfriend are speaking. Like I said, I like to go, yeah, I understand you, Whereas my boyfriend, his brain, he's not thinking that I'm trying to cut him off, but his brain thinks that any words that are said in between a sentence of something important that he's trying to say, like if it's something very, very important, he'll almost like his body will kind of just get irritated by it. Like, he won't be like, oh my god, shut up. No, he wouldn't be like that. He'd just be like, oh, can you not do that? And in the first like few weeks or few months of us talking, I was like, oh, this is weird. This is not something I'm used to. But he said it, and ever since then, shit, it's been noted, clocked it. And I'm very aware now. Like, I can read whenever he's about to say something important. Silent. As much as I want to be like, yeah, I literally, like, I shut myself down. I'm like, Keziah, stop it. Don't do it. Because it's just like, that's how we learn each other. That's how we get along. That's how we avoid conflict with each other as well. Because if you just openly communicate that you don't like something, someone who's meant for you and people who are meant to be in your life will not find that as a burden. They won't get irritated. They won't roll your eyes at you saying things like that. They'll just affirm it. They'll be like, safe, that's fine. Whatever makes you happy. Obviously within reason. Like, don't be telling me that every time we have a conversation I have to be dashing you €5. If you don't shut up. Who told you I have €5 to give you? Who told you I have €5 to just dash at you like that? Like, don't get me wrong, I do, but that don't mean I'm gonna do it. Like, who are you? And I love my friends, but like, damn, maybe when I'm a millionaire, sure, say less. I'll be dashing you whatever you want. I'll be doing a sugar mommy, no problem. But for now, let's keep our requests at a reasonable standard, okay? Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the last thing that I wanted to say. Do I remember? I don't know, but I have my phone. I need to stop, because all you're seeing is my forehead. My forehead's not making any noise into the mic, except the sizzling of flipping oil, I guess. Because my brain is heated and I have oily skin. And why am I explaining myself? Shut up. Gosh, my brother always hears me saying shut up to myself. It's kind of funny. Because sometimes it just gets too much. Even when I'm talking to myself, I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get to this point? Can you keep quiet? Just keep your mouth. Just keep it shut. Keep it quiet. Because what the flip? Okay, so this is another paragraph. And I think this is too much for my brain to handle, methinks. So I'm just going to put it into bullet points and I'll be back in like a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I've put it into some minor paragraphs, but I also kind of want to speak about the overall umbrella term, which is, I think, the cure to this whole epidemic of expecting people to know how to treat you. And that is shadow work. Shadow work. Remember those two words. I feel like it is something that will change your life because it sure did change mine. Now, I don't know the full definition of shadow work, but I remember when I was going through my spiritual awakening around like 2021 or the end of 2020, when I was just starting to realize that things, the way my mind was working and the way that I viewed the world was very like different, and I just wanted a change. I felt very numb spiritually. And I stumbled across something called shadow work, which is basically, it's a way of journaling or just thinking about your life introspectively, but not just looking at the lovey-dovey happy memories, but really delving into and immersing yourself and dissecting. That was really rude. Anyways, it's like dissecting the darkness that is the human experience. Because I think all human beings, now, guys, I know I speak about me going to church, and I speak about question of faith, and I speak about spirituality, and that's honestly because my brain kind of picks and chooses, but I draw inspiration from so many different spiritual mediums that it kind of just has made this all-encompassing outlook on life that I adopt. And I think that there is a light and there is a darkness to every human being. And I think that there is true enlightenment and there's true power in acknowledging the darkness and not just shoving it away. And I think we do that a lot with our trauma. Our darkness, to me, is trauma. It's bad habits. It's toxic behavior traits. It's pride. It's ego. It's just things that are very evidently present in the human experience and that we all share a part of and we all play a role within, but we don't acknowledge them. We don't. We just put positivity and almost toxic positivity on this pedestal, like la 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 la. Like in the terms of religion, it's like, oh yay, this God or this creature or this being is gonna come and save us all, woo. But dare I speak about how a lot of us have depressive thoughts, and a lot of people question many things about themselves, and people have jealousy all the time, and we just don't address why that is. That's where shadow work comes into play. That's where it perfectly slots itself. And I think it's very important to understand where our darkness comes from so that we can harness the power that comes from acknowledging it. I'm not saying you have to go and like learn your jealousy so that you can become this super raging, super villain, like in flipping, sorry, is this gonna be really weirdo of me? I don't know. But guys, please, surely you know Ladybug and Cat Noir, right? Surely. So basically there's this super villain and he has these butterflies that he like sends out of his little super villain lair, and they're called akumas, and he's like, fly my little akuma, go and akumatize this person. And then the butterfly only akumatizes someone who has a very dark emotion in the moment, whether that's despair, sorrow, anger, jealousy, ego, bitterness. And without being able to fully acknowledge that feeling, that's when it can consume you and do the worst. So the butterfly feeds off of that negativity and the fact that you are not honing it, you are not capturing it yourself. So the butterfly takes it and you become the super evil villain and you raid the city and da 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 da. Obviously that's a very la-di-da explanation and it's obviously not real. No one's getting akumatized in real life. I hope not. I don't know, guys. I haven't been to Paris in a long time. If you guys see anyone getting akumatized, you let me know, because I want to see it in real life. I will be there, okay? But basically what I'm saying is that if you're not able to capture that darkness yourself and understand it, you're never going to be able to let it go. Like, as much as you think you're suppressing it, it's always going to be there. It may not grow exponentially, but it'll just linger. And if you're not able to address where it comes from, it's just going to keep poking its head out in certain situations. And you'll be looking at yourself like, wow, I don't even recognize myself. I don't even know why I did that. I don't know why is this fly getting all up in my space? Do you want to be on the podcast? Come up onto the mic. Say what you have to say. Jesus. Anyways, yeah, that's basically what I was saying. The importance of shadow work. I used to shadow work a lot in my journal, and indirectly, I read about what shadow work is, but indirectly I was practicing shadow work by writing about all my bad feelings. I'm like, wow, I feel so weird. I don't know why I feel this way. It could be because when I was 6 years old, this, and this happened. And maybe that's why I feel that way. You know what? I'm going to extend more grace to my inner child, because even though that wasn't the best emotion to have in that moment, I did the best that I could with the information that I had at the time that I was existing. Making peace with the emotion, wrapping it up, and moving on. And I'll read a little bit from my journal. I put it on my phone. Something that I said recently about the importance of the dark place, the importance of acknowledging your darkness. So let's read that, and then we can digest and dissect that too. There is a prosperity Olympics when it comes to religion or white feminism or whatever, where positivity is key and negativity is shunned. But there is nothing really negative about facing your demons. Not to me, anyway. It's how I've been able to overcome a lot of trauma, but also confront a lot of fears and assumptions and mindsets that I incorrectly fabricated to make my reality easier to cope with. Like, my fear of not getting to travel and live the college experience was justified by skipping class and being a bit unserious, while on the flip side, it made me literally cripplingly anxious to pursue a master's degree because I thought I would die and never get to see the world. This kind of leads into this conversation that I had with my boyfriend about how men and toxic masculinity stems from an inability to correctly address their darkness. It's been glorified or romanticized as being done dirty by women and gold diggers and hitting the gym to fight those demons, all of that. Some BS for sure. Their lack of shadow work is a byproduct of the patriarchal view that they are not allowed to find comfort in their shortcomings and their insecurities, and the fact that we as humans are very similar. You can have trauma, you can feel trauma, and acknowledge it, because if you don't learn how to slowly delve into it, one day you're going to get triggered and you're going to plummet down the rabbit hole of your unexplored darkest thoughts, and you're going to have no idea how they even got there, and you're going to have no idea how you're going to get yourself out. This is why certain men spiral. This is why the depression and suicide rates are high. This is the origin and epicenter of inceldom, to me. Anyways, don't quote me, I beg. So unserious. Not me giving a disclaimer to my own journal. But no, you know what? There's a lot that I've said here. Let's dig into it bit by bit. Like, I even forgot that I said this, that I had this literal anxiety that if I do my master's straight out of college and I don't get a big girl job and earn a lot of money and go traveling the year after college like loads of people do, then I've missed my chance and I'm now too old and I now have to go and do all these other things and I've missed my chance and I'm gonna die and I'm never gonna see the world. Like, literally, my brain was in so much despair, especially at the start of this year, because this is the first year where I'm like, okay, by the end of this year, I'm not gonna have the security of saying I'm in college anymore unless I do a master's. But if I do that master's and I keep that security, will I have the chance to really explore the way I want to? If I stay in my little minimum wage job with barely any hours, am I going to save enough money to go and travel the world? If I apply for all these jobs and no one gets back to me, does that mean I'm too stupid and I'm never going to get a job and I'm going to die without ever getting a job? Guys, this is literally the thought process that kept going on and on and on and on in my head. But if I was not able to address that and understand that it's coming from the fact that a lot of my formative years were spent indoors during the pandemic. The pandemic began when I was 16. I'm 21 years old, and in a lot of aspects, I still mentally feel 16. I did not get a graduation, the year saying goodbye, that closure, that proper introduction to college, and also the fact that I had that friendship experience too that wasn't very great. Like, my whole that was supposed to be my coming of age era, and it was taken from me. It didn't go the way I expected it to. So I think I was so desperate to have everything in my control and work out exactly how I envisioned it. Otherwise, boom, another failure, another set of wasted years, another era that didn't go the way I expected it to. And that was really, really scary for me, especially someone that does not thrive well with uncertainty. That was really difficult for me to address. But I have come to a point that we're getting to the end of the year and I feel just fine. I did still go and do the masters. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I do feel like my time is coming to travel and do all the things that I say I was going to do, but I don't feel pressured. I don't feel anxious, and I've never felt more secure in the path in which my life is going. And that comes from analysing and acknowledging the darkness of my anxiety. And like I said there, negativity is definitely shunned in a lot of communities. Now, will I speak on my own household? No, because I don't think my household was I was not raised on a foundation of toxic positivity. I was raised on confidence and self-assurance, and it is something I do carry with myself. But of course, as you get older and your influences lie further than your household as well, you tend to lose sight of yourself sometimes. Like, you forget how to put one foot in front of the other and you slip and you tumble and spiral a lot. And it happens a lot in your formative years. But also, I'm grateful that I had a foundation like that, because if I grew up in a household of insecurity, of self-doubt, of doubt from other people, from, just being talked down on and demeaned, I don't know where I'd be as well, if I didn't have that foundation. But regardless, I just feel like I spoke about there with religion. Oh my God, do I hear a lot of this toxic positivity stuff in the church. My goodness gracious. I keep teasing speaking about my experiences with the church, but I feel like they need several episodes, because my experiences with religion and spirituality as a whole are just, oh my God, it's too much to even touch on. But I spoke about religion there, white feminism, CEOs of toxic positivity. You're your own boss, bitch, girl. You slay the world. Like, all that kind of stuff, all that la-di-da stuff from white feminism, and also the stuff of like, oh, Jesus said you're gonna be a millionaire tomorrow, so share this post and tell people that you're gonna be a millionaire. Or even like, when you do something wrong and you mess up. Oh my God, perfect example. Literally saw this on TikTok today. This lady, a makeup artist, she was supposed to do a girl's makeup for her wedding, and then the night before she cancelled because flipping JT from the City Girls asked her to do her makeup, and she just cancelled on the bride and went to do JT's makeup, and JT didn't even tag her in the post. Like, she didn't even get credited, and she may not have even gotten paid all that much, but she probably went for clout or whatever, and she was not sticking to morally bound words, deceptive. She was basically all the things that you wouldn't really correlate with being a Christian or being Christ-like. But then she goes up on her Instagram live saying, oh, all you haters, you're just jealous because God got me. I support it. I serve a loving, forgiving God, and I don't care what y'all say about me. I don't care what the bride says about me. I made the right decision because God told me to do it. If I slap you, gosh, the other bride is better than me. I'll come on, I would, let me not say what I would do. Actually, let me say what I could do, because who's going to stop me? Not like I'm actually going to do it. I'm even bluffing. Like, I'd probably just cry. But realistically, if I was bad like that, I'll just get one of my cousins, to book her for her next appointment. And I'd just rock up with my cousin and be like, what's good? That's a flipping lie, because I've never fought anyone in my life. But if I were to fight someone, that's how I'd rock up. Because what kind of bullshit is that you're bringing up God? God's probably laughing at you and telling you to stop embarrassing him because you look dumb. But that is another thing, like this delusion of thinking that just because you have God in your life, or because you're told that you're a boss and you're a queen and girl, you can still be a raging bitch. That's just a suggestion. Like, you could still be a piece of shit. You could still actually be a dickhead. You could actually be the worst boyfriend alive. But hey, John 3:16, the one verse that you know is in your bio. Like, good for you, bro. That cancels every bad thing you've ever done. But seriously, guys, like, we actually need to stop and like take in the madness that is your actions and start understanding why the hell you are the way you are, so that you can stop messing other people up. And also, so maybe other people can stop messing you up and telling you delusional lies like God's got you, when you're actually just an all-around terrible human being. I mean, whatever. Anyways, like I said earlier in the first excerpt, I said, learn yourself. Your thoughts bounce around your head for a reason. Capture them. Examine them, both the good and the bad, and when a conclusion is drawn, i.e. when you understood and come to terms with, and this fly, yeah, if I catch you, Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, anyway, sorry, when a conclusion is drawn and when you've made peace with the situation at hand, let it go. When an agreement has been made between yourself, your light, and your darkness, let them go. Let them go. And see how much lighter you will feel. Because when all this darkness is weighing on you, life is it's such a burden. You'll just feel so heavy. Like, it actually even says it in the Bible somewhere, where it's like, you cast all your cares on God. That's another way of doing shadow work. Acknowledge that you're going through something. Acknowledge that there's a part of your personality that you don't like, and watch how once you admit it, watch how once you've acknowledged it, the peace that you will feel. I'm being so dead ass. You'll feel so much better when you just let that shit go. And I don't mean let it go before you've acknowledged it, because a lot of people say let go of the negativity, but the negativity is you. How are you going to let yourself go? That's what I thought. Because seriously, if you don't delve into it, like I said, you'll feel heavy when you're going through a particular dark time, or someone says something that triggers you and reminds you of something terrible about yourself. You start plummeting into it. You start going down a rabbit hole of all the bad things that have ever happened to you relating to that conversation at hand. And then you find all of these thoughts around you. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched the Inside Out movie, not Inside Out 2, but Inside Out 1, where the emotions are inside this little girl's brain, Riley's brain, and they're exploring the memories, and they're like these little orbs of memories, and some of them are in the subconscious, which, like, no one likes to go in there because things get forgotten, right? But there's 1,000 billion quadrillion little orbs in there, and they are just taking up so much space, and it carries a lot of weight, and it looks dark and dreary and depressing. I guess you could relate to that as the darkness, as the unaddressed, as the unresolved. The sooner you start picking up all those little orbs and acknowledging them and watching over them, reviewing them and understanding them, you can throw them aside and let them go, and watch how your brain becomes lighter and your subconscious actually has more space to take in the light, to take in the positive, because you've acknowledged that you deserve it, despite your downfalls, despite your shortcomings, despite all the darkness within you. There's still space for the light, and it's there. The light is there, but there could be so much more if you just make the room. Take the darkness, acknowledge it, let it go, and watch how the space opens up. And watch all the amazing things that pour into your life as soon as you acknowledge the darkness. Seriously, it is a completely underrated therapy to practice shadow work and let the darkness go. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that was a good episode. I think that was a good little lesson that I needed to learn for myself. And I'm still learning. Like, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes where my boyfriend will say something and it's a little triggering, and I'll just be like, oh, do I want to bring this up? Do I want to open this can of worms right now? No, but I will try. I'll swallow it up and I'll try, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I want to create room for a healthy environment, and I can't if this junk is in the way. Anyways, plan of action for this evening. I'm gonna go have a shower, because again, winter arc, just came back from my run. I'm gonna go. Why did I make that noise? Anyway, I'm gonna go freaking drink 13 protein shakes before bed. Indigestion. Anyways, that's a lie. I don't drink those. They make my acne really scary. And I do need to pack my bag because I'm up early. I've got some meetings and a few little things for college tomorrow. So I don't know when I'll be back on the mic. I'm going to try and get back on again at the end of this week. And the guest is still loading, guys. I've just not really had the mental capacity to find somewhere to record. But once I do, You're going to see my guests and you're going to love them. You're going to love them as much as I do. And yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say for today, guys. I'm really happy with this podcast episode. Yeah, you know what? I kind of ate that. Low key. I really hope you guys learned something, because I feel like I have a good little balance going on of learning and yapping and learning. Yeah, we're just going to keep going onwards and upwards from here. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut up now. My head hurts. Love you guys so much. Thanks again for sticking with me for episode 4 of the Black Sheep podcast. I'm your host, Keziah. You're going to catch me in the next one. I promise. Or you can come and jump me. Don't do that. But you will catch me in the next one. I do promise. Okay, in a bit.